Okay, so we are now here in our next unit, Mathematics of Finance. So in here we will be discussing on how you will manage your finances or on how to manage. Titingnan nyo kung uh, um, paano ang cash flow in and out ng mga pera nyo. So later on, after finishing your degree, you will opt to have your own business or magtatrabaho kayo sa mga companies. So later on, maraming mga finances ang involved. So pwede kayong mag-loan from a lending company, pwede kayong mag-invest. So dito malalaman natin kung paano ba yung concept ng interest, kung paano ba yung nangyayari sa mga pera na ini-invest natin and others. Lately sa mga advertisement, kapag nanonood ako ng YouTube, ang daming nag-a-appear na mga lending application. So and very ano ang tawag mo dito? Very nakakaengganyo yung the way they advertise yung lending company nila. So sinasabi nila 0.49% daily. So kapag i-compute mo 0.49%, aakalain mong very lang siya, very maliit na value lang siya. Kung hindi mo alam kung paano i-calculate kung ilan ang interest na aakalain mo na 0.49, wala pang 1%, mababa lang yung interest niya. So ma-e-engganyo ka without knowing na kapag pala kinalculate mo yun and accumulate yung daily na yon, malaki din pala yung magiging interest niya. So with that, you must know how to calculate kung ilan yung percent interest niya, kung ilan yung magiging interest nito in this certain period of time. So yun ang pag-aaralan natin under Mathematics of Finance. Before we proceed, let us define first yung mga terms na kailangan nating maintindihan dito sa Mathematics of Finance for us to be able to understand yung mga later na discussion natin. So, sino sa inyo dito yung mga savings accounts? So, meron tayong tinatawag na kapag magsa-save kayo sa bank, meron tayong tinatawag na depositor. This is the person who deposited the money. Meron din tayong tinatawag na interest. So, ang interest, may dalawang concept ang interest. Interest can work for you or it can work against you. So, kapag nag-deposit ka sa bangko or let's say nag-invest ka, 'di ba meron tayong sinasabing interest. Kapag nag-invest ka, may interest. Uso-uso ngayon yung tinatawag nilang buyout. Actually may nag-o-offer sa akin yung 20,000 mo after 15 days pwede siyang maging 25,000 ganun. May mga legit naman na mga ganun pero mostly mga scammer, 'di ba? Yung mga ganun tinatawag nilang buyout. Yung isang friend ko nagganon siya, nag-join siya ng mga ganun and monthly madami siyang nakukuha. Malaki yung interest niya. So interest can work for you or it can work against you. Interest can work for you if ikaw yung nag-invest. Syempre kapag ikaw yung nag-invest, malaki yung interest na mapupunta sa'yo. Or, interest can work against you kapag ikaw yung umutang. Kasi syempre kapag umutang ka, babayaran mo yung interest dun sa inutangan mo. So, yun. We also have what we call the principal. So, when we say principal, this is the sum of money invested in a bank. Ito yung initial amount ng money na i-invest mo sa bank or ito yung initial amount ng money na uutangin mo kung uutang ka. We also have what we call the lender. The lender naman, this is the person, the agency, or the institution who lends the money or kung kanino ka uutang. We also have the debtor. The debtor is the person who borrows money. Terms of loans, this is how long will you borrow that money. This is the specific time or duration in years, in months, or in days for which the money is borrowed. Maturity value, this is the final value or this is the future value, the sum of the principal and the interest. And lastly, we have the maturity date. This is the date to which the terms of the loans ends or kung ito yung day na ibabalik mo na yung inutang mo. So these are the terms that we need to remember in this particular topic. Let us start with the simple interest. But before that, let us first define what is engineering economy. So, engineering economy, this is the discipline concerned with the economic aspects of engineering. So, you are engineering students, so later on, you will be exposed sa mas malaking responsibilities in terms of finances. So, it involves the systematic evaluation of the economic merits of proposed solutions to engineering problems. Meron tayong tinatawag na time value of money. So, this is, when we say time value of money, ito ay the change in the amount of money over a given time period. So, before, 'di ba? This money, itong nakikita nyo dito, 1,000 pesos, pare-pareho sila ng value. But as time progresses, habang tumatagal, yung value ng money na to is parang lumiliit siya. So before, ang 1,000 pesos mo when I was in first year, ganun, or mga senior high school nung nag-i-stay ako sa Tuge, yung 1,000 pesos mo na allowance mo in a week, parang sobra-sobra na yon in a week at madami na siyang mabibili. But then, as time progresses, nung nasa third year, right after pandemic, parang ang konti na lang nang nabibili ng 1,000 pesos. So, that is what we call the time value of money. The value of money, yung amount ng money pareho lang, pero yung value niya, nag-iiba-iba. That is the time value of money. Okay, so let's proceed sa simple interest. So we will be discussing two types of interest kasi, the simple interest and the compound interest. So this simple interest, ito yung pinaka-basic na alam natin na kapag halimbawa uutang ka or may mga nagpapautang sa inyo dito yung mga parents, ganyan. Kapag uutang ka, so 'di ba kapag yung utang kasi ginagawa na ding business. So kapag uutang ka, ilang-ilan yung interest monthly. So pwedeng 10% yung interest monthly, ganyan, or kapag naman masyado kang mabait na magpautang, pwedeng 5% lang yung interest monthly. So, ganyan, yung utang na yon, yung utang na alam natin is simple interest lang yung nangyayari doon. So, we have a formula here na kapag kukunin natin yung interest is equal to P times I times N, where I is the simple interest, P is the principal or the initial amount, I is the interest rate per interest period, and N is the number of interest periods. So, etong number of interest periods is ilang beses kang mag-i-interest. Pwedeng quarterly. Kapag sinabi natin quarterly, pwedeng 4 times a year, every 4 months. Kapag naman sinabi natin daily, pwedeng every day. Yung daily is yung mga yung sa advertisement ng sinasabi ko, yung sa one hand. Yung advertisement kasi nila is sinasabi nila na 0.49% daily. So kapag daily, every day kang magi-interest. Kapag naman meron naman tayong sinatawag na yearly, so once a year ka lang magi-interest. Kapag monthly, once a month. Kapag semi-annually, twice a year. So depende, tong number of interest period, depende kung ano yung stated sa problem or kung ano yung pinag-usapan nyo ng inutangan mo or ng pinautangan mo. And if you wanna know kung ano yung magiging future value niya, halimbawa ang interest na ang number of interest period mo, let's say in a year is twice. So kukunin mo ngayon kung ilan yung interest niya and i-add mo lang dun sa principal amount niya, and that would be the future value. That would be the future amount. F here denotes the future amount. Next. So we have two types of simple interest, the ordinary simple interest and the exact simple interest. So we know, 'di ba, na usually in what do you call this one? In conversion, sa mga conversion unit natin, kapag wait lang, patayin ko yung electric fan, maingay. Kapag conversion, nagko-convert tayo, tinatanong natin, mama, anong ilang days ang gagamitin? 360 ba? 365 days ba? Or 366 days ba? So, magkaiba kasi ang ordinary simple interest and exact simple interest. When we say ordinary simple interest, kino-compute natin yung interest on the basis of 1 banker's year. Sa pag sinabi natin banker's year kasi equal lang siya sa 360 days. So, yung interest natin kanina is I is equal to P times I times N. But our N here is magiging the number of days, this one, the number of days divided by 360 days. So this is our N. Kapag exact simple interest naman, this is based on the exact number of days in a year. Exact number of days in a year. So we know that the exact number of years can either be 365 or 366, depende kung leap year yan o hindi. So, kung leap years, of course, ang gagamitin natin is 366. So, that is the difference between ordinary simple interest and exact simple interest. So, kapag sinabing exact, exact number of days. Okay, so we have problem here. Problem number 1. So, using the formula or the equations na discussed, determine the exact and the ordinary simple interest of 75,000 for the period of February 14 to December 10, 2012 if the rate of simple interest is 16% per year. So dito, year 2012, kapag i-check nyo is ano siya, leap year siya. So hanggang 29 yung February natin. And our ang ating interest is 16% per year. So you need to take note na itong per year natin dito is dapat pareho sila ng magiging value ng N nyo. So you see here, dito sa part na to, bakit hindi natin pwedeng gamitin, bakit may 360 days tayo dito? Kasi usually, ang mga given sa atin na I is naka per year. So, dapat yung N mo dito, yung number of, kung ilang beses kang magi-interest is pareho lang kung ano yung unit natin dito sa rate natin. So, kapag naka per year siya, dapat eto is nasa unit siya ng year para maging consistent tayo sa unit natin. Kaya natin kinonvert yung days dito, di ba? Ang magiging ano niyan is let's say 60 days times in 1 year we have 360 days. In 1 year. So para ma-cancel lang yung unit natin para year pa rin siya kasi kapag naka per year to, dapat naka in unit of year lang din to. Kapag naka per month to, dapat in unit of month lang din to. So, dimensional analysis. Okay. So, kapag mga gantong problem, you will have to count the number of days. So, bibilangin mo kung ilan yung number of days natin. So, this will be February 14 to 29. So, in solving the total number of days pala, hindi nyo i-include yung hindi nyo i-include yung first day. So, in this case, ang first day natin is February 14. So, hindi siya kasali dun sa pagbibilang natin. Kasi yung first day is considered as the time 0. You will not be including that one. So, that would be, kapag February 14 to 29, ilang days yun is 15 days. Ang March natin, so dapat alam nyo kung ilang days yung mga number o ilang days yung each month. So, meron naman yung 30 days sa September, April, June, and November. Alam nyo ba yun, yung elementary? 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest is 31 except February alone. So, dapat alam nyo kung ilang days ang meron per month para mabilang nyo kung ilan yung day na meron dun sa magiging problem na isosolve nyo. So, sa March is meron tayong 31, April 30, and so on. So, December 1 to 10. So, in this part, nung kinalculate ko to, ang ginawa ko is 31 days yung December. Ang stated pala sa problem is hanggang December 10 lang. So, be careful kapag magsosolve kayo. Kasi ginawa kong 31 days, so hindi pala. So, hanggang 10 days lang, December 1 to 10 lang pala. And then, add all of this para makuha natin kung ilang days yung duration ng utang na yan. So, this is equal to 300. And so, calculating now, unahin natin yung exact. So, for exact simple interest, so our interest here would be the principal amount, PI times And D over exact is 360. Since kasali yung 29 natin dito kasi leap year siya, so this is 366. So the principal amount is 75,000. Times our interest, it's 16%, so 0.16 times ilang days? 300 days all over 366. So our interest is equal to this is equal to 9,836.07. For ordinary simple interest naman, so papalitan nyo lang yung denominator nyo. This one, papalitan nyo lang ng 360. So that would be I is equal to our principal amount is 75,000 times 0.16 times 300 all over 360. So this is equal to 10,000 pesos. So this is the principal amount. So if you want to calculate for the future amount, ano yung magiging future value niya after 300 days? So that would be 75,000. I-add nyo lang yung principal amount, 75,000 plus yung interest. So yun yung magiging value niya after 300 days. The same thing here sa ordinary simple interest natin. If you want to know the future value after 300 days, you will just add 10,000 dito sa 75,000 natin. Next. Wait lang. Next, let's proceed sa compound interest. So we are done with simple interest. The two types are the ordinary and the exact simple interest. Now, let us proceed sa compound interest. So what is compound interest naman? Kapag sinabi naman natin compound interest, usually ang compound interest, ito yung nangyayari sa mga savings natin sa mga bank. Compound interest siya. So, hindi pala na-discuss dito. So, ang compound interest, ang difference niya sa compound interest, sa simple interest kasi, let's say, ang duration ng utang mo is, sinabi mo sa inutangan mo na, babayaran ko after 5 months. So, after 5 months, ibabalik mo na. So, in that 5-month duration, let's say, sa first month, ang inutang mo is, let's say, ang inutang mo is 10,000. Ang principal amount niyan 10,000 and let's say ang interest, ang percent interest na is 10%. So kukunin mo yung 10% interest ng 10,000 and then sa second na month is 10,000 pa rin yung principal amount mo hanggang sa 5th month mo. So ang iniinteresan mo lang is yung principal amount na 10,000 natin. Whereas sa compound interest, let's say umutang ka ng gusto ko malaking amount. Let's say umutang ka ng 1 million. So, umutang ka ng 1 million. Sa first 1 million, ang inutang mo, and then ang interest niya is, let's say, 10% yearly. Gusto ko yearly ang interest. So, 10% yearly. So, kapag umutang ka ng 1 million, sa first year, sa unang taon, ang interest niya is 100,000. Kapag compound interest, yung principal amount is hindi yung magiging principal amount the second year. So, halimbawa, ang duration ng utang kong 1 million, let's say is 4 years ang duration ng utang ko. So, the next year, ito yung first year, diba? This is the first year. And then, sa susunod na taon, ang magiging principal amount na ng utang ko would be 1,100,000 na siya. And then, kukunin mo ulit yung 10% ng 1,100,000. So, ang magiging interest nito in 1 year ulit is 110,000. So, ang interest nito in 1 year is 110,000. And then, sa pangatlong taon ng utang ko, hindi na ito yung principal amount. I-add mo na naman yung naging interest niyan. So, that would be 1,210,000. And then, ang magiging interest naman nito is 121,000. So, i-add mo na naman to sa magiging next na i-interesan mo. So, yun yung pinagkaiba niya sa simple interest. Sa simple interest kasi, yung ini-interesan mo is constant lang yung amount. Kung ano yung inutang mo, yun lang yung i-interesan mo. Dito sa compound interest kasi, lumalaki yung interest mo yearly. 'Di ba? Parang mahirap tong compound interest. Lumalaki yung nagiging interest na yearly hanggang sa hindi mo na ibabalik yung pera. 'Yun ang compound interest natin. So we have a formula to use para ma-solve natin yung future amount or yung future value ng uutangin natin using compound interest. So we have an example here. So if you deposited 250,000 with 4.5 interest compounded annually, let it accumulate and do not withdraw anything. How much will you have 3 years after the deposit? So, ang sinabi dyan is annually. So, annually is the same as yearly. So, once a year lang siya magi-interest. So, kapag biannually naman, ibig sabihin ng biannually 2 times a year. Or semi-annually 2 times a year lang din yun. Pareho lang ang ibig niyang sabihin. So, in this case, annually daw siya magi-interest. So, 3 times siyang magi-interest kasi 3 years. So, how will we solve this one? Wala akong space na pag-solvean. So, gamitin lang natin yung formula natin. So, that would be F is equal to, our principal amount is 250,000. Times 1 plus the interest is 4.5, so that would be 0.045 raised to ilang beses siyang magi-interest, so that would be 3 years. 3 years kasi 3 times annually, so 3 times 1. So that would be 285,291.53 pesos. So, after 3 years, ito yung babayaran mo. So, imagine from 250,000 naging 285,291 siya. So, more than 35,000 yung naging interest ng pera mo, naging interest ng pera mo. Ang laki naman ng ano nito, interest na dineposit niya lang. Tapos, yun, nagkaroon siya ng interest na 35,000. More than 35,000 yung naging interest niya in 3 years. Next. Okay, so we have another example here. How long will an investment of 10,000 grow to at least 100,000 considering the following compound interest rate? So, first is the 1% per month. So, paano naman natin i-calculate to kapag 1% per month lang siya. So, guys, sumabay kayo sa pag-solve ha. Hindi lang yung nanonood lang kayo or nakikinig lang kayo kasi iba kapag sumasabay kayong mag-calculate. So, how long sa 1% per month. Okay, so letter A, 1% per month. So, ang N natin is, okay, unahin natin. So, we have F is equal to P times 1 plus I raised to n. So, ang tinatanong sa atin, how long will an investment? So, ito yung tinatanong sa atin, n natin. So, how long will an investment of 10,000 grow to at least 100,000? So, ang future amount natin would be 100,000. Kasi ang sabi, ilang taon daw para maging 100,000 siya. So, meaning to say, our future value is 100,000. 100k na lang. And our principal amount is this one, 10,000. Times 1 plus this one, interest natin is 0.01. 0.01 per month. Since naka per month siya, yung magiging sagot natin dito sa n, dapat naka per month lang din siya. Naka monthly basis lang din siya. So, dapat ang n natin is naka month yung unit natin. So, that would be, so kapag i-input nyo sa calculator nyo to guys, ano lang siya, shift solve. Pero medyo matagal kasi kapag shift solve, so you can do it this way. So, i-simplify na lang muna natin. So, that would be 100k all over 10k is equal to 1.01 raised to n. So, this will be 10 is equal to 1.01 raised to n. And simplifying this one, pwede nyo gamitin yung ln. Yung ln na function ng calculator nyo, natural logarithm, ln 10 is equal to n times ln 1.01. So, magiging, ang n natin would be, anong makakalculate yung n? So, magiging n is equal to ln 10 all over ln 1.01. So, this will be 200. This will be 231.41 months. Guys, ang isang one thing that you should remember in calculating for interest, calculating for the future amount, ganyan, calculating for the time it will take, ang kailangan yung tandaan is kapag mag-round kayo ng time sa mga kapag mag-round off kayo ng time, ang tinatanong sa atin dito is yung n, 'di ba? So, kapag mag-round kayo, hindi kayo pwedeng mag-round down or mag-round off. Dapat, kasi kung i-round mo to, using yung rule natin in rounding off, dapat 231 siya. But then, hindi kasi pwede, kasi kapag 231 yung magiging sagot mo, kapag nilagay natin siya dito sa n natin, nasa 99,000 lang siya. So, hindi siya mag-100,000. Eh, di ba kapag mag-i-interest ka naman is at the end of every month. So, i-round off mo na lang to. At the end of every month. So, at the end of each period. So, i-round off mo na lang to. So, your answer here will be 232 months instead of 231 months. So, tandaan nyo ha, baka mamaya, kapag minali ko na naman later on yung answer nyo is, mama, bakit mali? Eh, nag-round lang naman ako. So, kahit tama yung pag-round nyo, hindi, mamamali yung sagot nyo kapag hindi nyo siya re-round up. Kasi kapag 231 yung ilalagay natin dito, hindi siya aabot ng 100,000. Sa letter B naman, 5% per semi-annual period. So, the same thing, sa formula lang natin, that would be 100,000. So, 100k all over. So, idiretso na lang natin ha. All over 10k is equal to 1.05 raised to n. So, your n here and here will be this will be 47.19. 47.19 semi-annual period, 47.19 semi-annual period. You also need to write your unit kapag magsosolve kayo ng mga gantong problem. Kasi, pwede namang 47.19 yearly, pwedeng 47.19 per month. So, dapat, ilalagay nyo yung unit nyo. Kapag wala kayong unit, mamamali yung sagot nyo. This is 47.19 semi-annual period, or kapag i-round natin to, this should be, supposedly, this is 47, diba? Kasi mag-round down ka. Kasi, 1 yung nandyan natin. But then, kapag interest ang pinag-uusapan natin, mag-i-interest ka at the end of each period. So, magiging 48 siya. 48 semi-annual period. Kapag semi-annual period, sabi ko kanina, diba, kapag semi-annual is 2 times a year kang nag-i-interest. So, ibig sabihin, kung 48 semi-annual period, so, 2 beses kang nag-i-interest per year. So, ibig sabihin, this is equal to 24 years. 24 years, kapag sinabi nating semi-annual, 2 times kang nag-interest. So, 24 times 2, that would be 48 semi-annual period. May tanong? Nakakasunod naman. O, mag-calculate kayo ha. Okay, next, let's proceed sa cash flow diagrams. In here sa cash flow diagrams, we will be talking kung paano yung lumalabas at pumapasok na pera natin. So, in cash flow diagram, you need to remember here that, okay, ito muna. A cash flow diagram, this is a graphical representation of cash flows drawn on a time scale. So, ang time 0 natin, so this is the present time. That is why hindi siya naibibilang dun sa number ng period natin. So, this is the present time. Time 1, this is the end of the first period and start of second period. Kapag may pumasok na pera, arrow up ang magiging i-denote natin. Kapag maglalabas ng pera, arrow down. And it is drawn in a lender's point of view. So, let's have an example kung ano nga ba ang itsura ng cash flow diagram natin. Let's say, ang cash flow diagram natin is, ganito ang cash flow diagram natin. At present, so that would be 0. So, at year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5. Let's say, dito sa year 1 is nag-invest ka ng pera. So, ibig sabihin, kapag nag-invest ka, maglalabas ka ng pera. So, pababa yung arrow mo. So, kapag palabas ang pera, pababa ang arrow. And then, kapag papasok ang pera, and then dahil nag-invest ka, let's say nag-invest ka dito ng 100,000, so kapag 10% ang interest nun, at first year, may papasok sa yung 10,000. And then, umutang, let's say bumili ka ng laptop, amounting 25,000 sa second year. So, dahil naglabas ka ng pera, yung magiging cash flow natin is pababa yung arrow natin. So, that would be 500,000. So, ito ang tinatawag natin na cash flow diagram. Okay, let's have an example here kung paano natin i-draw ang mga cash flow diagram. So, why am I discussing this cash flow diagram? Kasi later on, magagamit nyo to sa pag-calculate ng future and ng present amount without using yung formula na na-discuss natin sa mga first part ng discussion natin. Pwede lang magamit ang cash flow diagram in calculating the future and the future amount or the pwede rin yung principal amount natin. So, this one, a simple loan transaction involving a principal of 160,000 and an interest rate of 15,000 per year based on the lender's point of view. So, paano natin isusulat to? So, this would be sa at time 0, at initial amount 0, So, a simple loan transaction involving principal amount. So, nag-loan ka ng 160,000. So, kapag nag-loan ka ng 160,000, sabi dito is on the lender's point of view, dun sa nagpa-utang to ha, dun sa nagpa-utang to. So, kapag nagpa-utang ka, syempre kapag nagpa-utang ka, maglalabas ka ng pera. So, that is pababa. So, that would be 160,000. Sa pangalawa naman, ang sabi, an interest rate of 15,000 per year. So, kapag ang interest is 15,000 per year, so that would be 15% of 160,000 is times 0.15. That would be 24,000. So, may papasok sa yung 24,000. So, kapag nagpautang ka, maglalabas ka ng pera. So, that would be pababa yung magiging arrow mo. And then, sa second year, dahil nga may 15% interest, so, may papasok sa yung pera. So, that would be 24,000. The same thing sa, ano ba yan? Let's say, kapag 4 years, so, sa second year is 24,000 ulit. Sa third year is 24,000 ulit. So, that would be 24,000 and then 24,000. And then, sa last year, let's say sa last year, sa fourth year, this is first year, second year, and third year. Let's say sa last year, is gusto mo nang i-withdraw lahat. So, ang magiging interest na ulit dito is 24,000. Gusto daw i-withdraw. Sa last year is ibabalik na yung pera mo. So, 160,000 plus yung interest. So, that would be 160,000 plus yung 24,000 natin. So, that would be 184,000. So, in drawing your cash flow diagram, dapat proportional yung size ng arrow nyo dun sa lalabas na pera. So, let's say dito, sa 24,000, pare-pareho lang yung level ng arrow natin kasi pare-pareho naman na 24,000. Dito, sa last year natin, sa fourth year natin, dahil nga binalik na yung 160,000 na pinautang mo and then meron pa siyang interest na 24,000, so mas mataas yung arrow natin dito, denoting na mas malaki yung pera na pumasok sa'yo on that year. So, ganito tayo mag-drawing ng cash flow diagram. Next. Next, another term that we need to remember here is yung equivalence. When we say equivalence, it means that different sums of money at different times can be equal in economic value. Even though the amounts and timing of the cash flow differ. The appropriate interest rates makes them equal. So, ang ano dito, ang sinasabi lang dito, let's say, ngayon, nag-invest ka ngayon ng 1 million. Sabi mo, mag-i-invest ako ng 1 million para after 10 years, marami ng interest to. Para kapag nilabas ko na, marami ng interest. Pero yung 1,000 daw, yung 1,000 pesos mo, iba yung magiging amount niya after 10 years. After 10 years, iba yung magiging amount niya. Pero, equivalent pa rin sila nito. Equivalent pa rin sila ng initial amount mo. Nag-iba lang yung value niya, ayan. Nag-iba lang yung amount niya dahil may mga interest may mga interest involved na. But then, the economic value niya, yung magiging economic value niya is the same pa rin. Kasi isipin nyo, after 10 years ba, halimbawa, ang interest ng 1 million mo is, let's say, na after 10 years is naging, sabihin natin, 1,100,000. So, after 10 years ba, diba, may mga yearly, may mga inflation rate, ganyan. So, sa bangko kasi, usually, sa mga bangko is less than 1% lang yung interest. So, ito yung isang concept na hindi natin alam. Sa mga bangko is 1% lang yung interest. Pero yung inflation rate yearly is nasa 2 to 6%. So, imagine, ang nadagdag sa pera mo per year is 1%, less than 1%, hindi pa siya 1%, less than 1%. And then, ang inflation rate per year is 2 to 6%. So, meaning to say, kahit lumaki yung value or yung lumaki yung amount ng pera mo, it is somehow equivalent dun sa when it comes to economic value because of inflation rate. So parang wala lang din nagbago kasi nga may inflation rate tayo yearly. Parang yung time value niya is the same lang, di ba? Okay, so let's have an example kung paano natin isosolve yung equivalence niya. So, ang sinasabi lang ng equivalence is meron siyang equivalence in terms of economic value after a certain period of time. Pero mag-iiba lang yung amount niya because of interest and because of other factors. Ilang minutes pa? Madami pa ba ito? Okay, patapos naman na. So, ito na lang. Last example na lang muna natin to. Consider a sum of 75,000 in the present at interest rate of 12% compounded annually. It can be equal to 105,000 in 3 years from now or 3 equal payments of 31,226 yearly. So, ma'am, paano siya naging equal? Ang sabi dyan, it can be equal to 105,370. So, magkaiba sila ng amount, pero bakit sinasabi niyang equal? 75 is equal to 105,370 daw in 3 years from now, after 3 years. Or 31,266 yearly. How come na equal siya is 31,226 yearly is equivalent to 93,000 something lang siya. So, hindi sila equal numerically. But then, in terms of economic value, they are equal. Kasi, paano nangyari yan? So, i-draw natin siya using cash flow diagram. So, that would be, so, ang initial amount daw natin, consider a sum of 75,000 at present. So, meron tayong 75,000 at present. Okay, so kung meron tayong 75,000 at present, and ang duration natin is 3 years. So, we have 1, 2, 3. This will be 1, 2, and 3. So, etong 75,000, kapag dadalhin natin siya sa future, so, ito yung sinasabi ko na pwede nating makalculate yung magiging future amount ng pera natin after a certain period of time using cash flow diagram. So, dito sa 75,000, so that would be 75,000, 75K na lang ang ilalagay ko. 75K times, magja-jump ka ng isang taon, so that would be 12% ang interest natin, so that would be 1.12%. Oops. That would be 1.12% raised to 1. Kasi nag-jump lang tayo ng isang taon. Plus, another year. So, that would be 1, 2. So, that would be 75,000 times 1.12 raised to 2. Plus, another year, 75,000 times 1.12 raised to 3. So, that would be after 3 years, ang magiging amount na ng pera mo is 105,370. So, pareho lang sila. Equivalent lang sila in terms of economic value kasi nagkaroon lang siya ng interest. So, yung tinatanong kanina, yung may nagtanong kanina kung hindi ba ia-add lahat. So, ia-add mo lahat kapag ang tinatanong is ano yung equivalent nga after 3 years. Ano yung equivalent value ng 75,000 natin after 3 years or ano yung future value niya after 3 years. Pero tingnan nyo dito, kapag idodraw natin lahat ng pumasok na pera kasi, ang purpose kasi ng cash flow diagram natin is makikita natin kung ilan yung pumasok na pera at ilan yung lumabas na pera. So, here, so 75 sa first year, 75 times 1.12, so that would be kung ilan yung makukuha nyo dito. Tapos, sa pangalawang year, 75 times 1.12, yun lang din yung papasok dito. So, that's it. Or, kapag naman ang given sa inyo is etong final, etong nasa third year. Let's say, ang given sa inyo is etong nasa third year, that is 105,370. So, kapag ibabalik nyo, gusto nyong malaman kung ilan yung pinasok nyong pera. So that would be 105 times 370 times 1.12 raised to negative. So ilang beses siyang nag-jump? 1, 2, 3. So that would be raised to negative 3 plus 105.370 times 1, 2 raised to 1.12 raised to negative 2 plus 105 times 370 times 1.12 raised to negative 1. So, ang makukuha nyong sagot dyan is the same thing, 75,000 lang din. So, equivalent pa rin sila. So, that's it na lang muna.